Good evening, I'm Ian Hanomansing. Tonight, the frantic search for survivors after rare December storms spawned dozens of tornadoes in the U.S.
Nothing that was standing in the direct line of this tornado is still standing.
We're on the ground in Kentucky as people take stock.
This is unreal, unbelievable.
And scientists piece together what happened.
This is December. How is this happening in December?
What you need to know about Omicron and rising COVID case numbers as you plan your holidays. And
how are you feeling?
I'm a little nervous.
The push to get kids in Canada's biggest city to roll up their sleeves. Plus,
so little snowbird, take me with you when you go.
Canadian legend Anne Murray reflects on her groundbreaking career in a rare interview.
I did my job, and I did it well.
This is The National.
They would let me down there, I would be digging right now. Until daybreak, I would be digging right now if I could. Fingers and all, I would be digging.
Just one of the many voices of desperation from the U.S. Midwest, where the search for survivors continues tonight. Battered by powerful tornadoes, communities are still in shock, struggling to come to terms with the magnitude of what happened and what's been lost. The view from above gives a clear picture of the devastation. In Kentucky, the state hardest hit, buildings were torn apart, homes completely flattened. The scale of this storm enormous, producing as many as 30 tornadoes across 6 different states. More than 100 people are feared dead. Many of those were in Mayfield, Kentucky, where a huge tornado ripped through the city center. Katie Simpson is in Mayfield. And Katie, what's happening there tonight?
Urgent search and rescue operations are underway across Kentucky. Hope is fading that survivors will be found as people here try to understand the magnitude of this disaster. At first light, the scale of the disaster comes sharply into focus. Blocks of the town of Mayfield look just like this. It's eerily quiet first thing in the morning. Only a few storm survivors decided to hunker down as they wait for help.
I've been deep in here because I want to protect what little I got left.
Shirley Poole and her boyfriend rushed their grandkids into the basement Friday night. She invited us in to show us how they tied their wrists to a metal drain to prevent them from being ripped out of the house.
And the kids were screaming, and I wasn't quiet myself. I was trying to scare myself there. And then all of a sudden the basement started shaking and little stuff started coming down, and it just sounded like it's just the horriblest thing I've ever heard in my life.
All of this is overwhelming to process, even for the governor.
The damage is devastating. Entire blocks, more than one block, with nothing standing.
The cleanup is taking a back seat to search and rescue operations. The biggest effort underway right now is at the candle factory, where dozens of workers are still missing. 2 of Marty Janes's relatives made it out of the facility alive. He's grateful they are okay. He's in shock that his neighborhood has been wiped out.
We got lost trying to get to my house because all the landmarks are gone. You lose your sense of direction.
Marty spent his day looking through the rubble of his home, searching for his prescription heart medication and one of his dogs.
Like a war zone. You think we just got hit with nuclear bombs or something.
Katie, what are the conditions for the search and rescue operation tonight?
Colder weather has moved into the area, Ian, so that's a problem. On top of that, there are widespread power outages and water problems, so conditions are less than ideal.
On stories like this, there are often little poignant moments, and you had one of those.
You know, we were near the candle factory today, and as soon as we got out of the car, you could smell scented candles. It's a reminder that this factory had such a huge presence in this community, and it's just another reminder of what was lost here in this weather system.
All right. Katie Simpson in Mayfield, Kentucky. Thanks. Satellite images taken before and after the tornadoes show the overwhelming destruction. Take a look at downtown Mayfield before the storm tore through, and then this is what it looked like afterwards. And let's also take a look at the candle factory that Katie mentioned, where so many are known to have died. It is now completely flattened with cars from the parking lot piled on top of the wreckage. And in Arkansas, this senior's home took a direct hit, the roof completely torn off. The governor of that state saying it was a miracle that only one person in the home died. So not only is the extent of this destruction stunning, but also the timing. Tornadoes of this magnitude in December are incredibly unusual. And that has lots of people asking what role the changing climate likely played in the disaster. Cameron McIntosh looks into that.
Stunning as this all is, a swath of destruction stretching through 6 states, it's the timing that also has many experts awestruck.
I was watching the radar last night and I was saying, wait a second, this is December. How is this happening in December?
Yale meteorologist Jeff Masters says yes, tornadoes can and do happen in December, but it's rare, especially something this scale.
This is the kind of thing you would only see at the height of the season, March, April, May.
Parts of the Midwest and southern U.S. have been experiencing spring-like temperatures, due in part to a La Nina weather cycle. That brought the warm, moist air that creates the thunderstorms that drive tornadoes.
Because now it's warmer longer and you can have these favorable conditions for tornadoes at different times of the year.
As the sheer scope of the damage is being assessed, U.S. President Joe Biden is blaming climate change. The U.S. government expects to see more events like this.
This is going to be our new normal, and the effects that we're seeing from climate change are the crisis of our generation.
In Canada, about 60 tornadoes are reported and verified each year.
So we know we're missing lots of tornadoes, even with our extra effort at finding them.
David Sills heads the Northern Tornado Project at Western University, which is trying to better understand where tornadoes are most likely to strike.
It's just because it's such a localized, rare phenomenon. The climate models just can't get down to that scale.
So far, he says the evidence is inconclusive whether climate change is causing more tornadoes in Canada, but could be changing the areas where they can strike.
There might be some areas that are going to go way up and some areas that are going to go way down. It might not be a cross Canada effect.
The concern being over time, those changing conditions could leave more areas of the country vulnerable to extreme weather when it's least expected. Cameron McIntosh, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Hundreds of thousands of people were left without power after windstorms swept through Ontario and Quebec this weekend. Gusts of up to 120 kilometers an hour knocked down trees and pulled down power lines. In Quebec, more than 200,000 customers were affected. And in Ontario, nearly 150,000 people lost power, many left in the dark. Overnight Saturday, crews are working to restore electricity, but warn it could take until Monday to get everyone reconnected. Let's turn to the pandemic now. Modeling from the federal government suggesting that Canada could see unprecedented case growth in our second pandemic winter. Average daily new cases in Canada since the summer show a double surge. The first hit primarily in the west, this one now driven by Ontario and Quebec, with hotspots also emerging in New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, and Manitoba. But even in those provinces, the rise in hospitalizations has so far been modest. And overall, Canada's COVID admissions are steady, even declining. Susanna De Silva shows us how just weeks before the holidays, the country is bracing for those numbers to get worse.
With less than 2 weeks to go, the holiday shopping crunch is on.
I'm not done. I actually barely have started.
This is my first stop, so.
And while gift planning may be behind, most people we spoke to say they have thought about their COVID-safe party plans, though the latest variant has them thinking twice.
I'm vaccinated and I'm hoping that'll help a little bit, but yeah, maybe a little bit more hesitant.
With data still coming in, experts say there is some reason to be hesitant.
It looks like that its doubling time is clearly less and shorter, which means it transmits more rapidly.
On Rosemary Barton Live, U.S. Chief Medical Advisor Dr. Anthony Fauci said while Omicron spreads fast, early data may show positive signs.
Although the data is still preliminary and you don't want to make any final conclusions, it looks like it might be that the level of severity is less with Omicron than it is with Delta.
But he added early indications are that current vaccines may be less effective, prompting the need for that booster. Many provinces are now quickly expanding eligibility.
We're an Omicron era now. And it's very clear that 3 doses is better than 2. I would like to see a greater sense of urgency from coast to coast, getting 3rd doses into as many eligible arms as possible.
Another tool to slow the spread, rapid testing.
The beauty with rapid tests is you can get the results in as little as 15 minutes.
An online group has formed to help Canadians find them in their area.
Rapid tests are a perfect public health tool to be able to facilitate safe gatherings.
Nova Scotia encourages their use.
Making it really socially acceptable to get a test, just because you want to be safe and you want to protect your friends and families.
But tests aren't widely available in some provinces like BC.
Maybe we just need to do what we did last year and just, hold off for the good of everybody.
And experts say caution should be part of everyone's holiday plans. Susanna De Silva, CBC News, Vancouver.
Worries about the next wave are adding urgency to the effort to vaccinate as many kids aged 5 to 11 as possible. Toronto's Kids Vaccine Day was a massive one-day immunization push. Talia Ricci shows us the journey of 2 young friends to get their shots.
This Toronto transit bus has a different route today. Its destination, Kids Vaccine Day.
How are you feeling?
Good. I'm a little nervous because I'm scared.
Outreach workers in communities with lower vaccine rates have been busy.
We book appointments by going door to door in our community. We do face some hesitancy, but many people have already got their kids vaccinated.
They've shifted their focus from getting adults vaccinated to helping kids and parents feel comfortable, as well as making the experience accessible.
I get exhausted. I have MS, so I was like, I'm not driving down, but I thought it would be great for the kids because it's like a party.
Doing it together as a community makes it feel safer, makes it feel like, okay, we're going to get it done, we're going to get through.
Say hi.
We tagged along with Salome and Caitlin on their way to the Scotiabank Arena Clinic. New Toronto data shows that 29% of kids aged 5 to 11 have already got their first doses, higher than the national average of 17%. Sunday's goal, vaccinate more than 2,000 children.
We're thrilled with the number of children so far in the city of Toronto that have been vaccinated. We know that it's a slow and steady race. It's not always the quickest.
Officials say mass clinics like this will help protect the community as both Delta and Omicron variants spread ahead of Christmas.
We know that children 5 to 11 years of age have some of the highest rates of COVID in our city right now. Getting the vaccine as soon as possible before the holidays, though, is going to help around the holiday time. How did it go?
I hurt a little bit, but I didn't feel too much.
For kids who haven't had their turn yet, Caitlin has this advice.
When you get vaccinated, you just look away. You can squeeze your stuffy if you brought stuffy, or you can squeeze your jacket.
And as Salome demonstrates, squeezing your best friend's hand works too. Talia Ricci, CBC News, Toronto.
PEI's premiers condemned a protest this weekend against public health measures held outside the home of the province's chief medical health officer.
I pray for these officers, God, that you will bring truth to them.
This unverified video appears to show a small protest. There were no reports of violence, but it crossed a line for the premier, who tweeted he was disgusted and that Dr. Morrison and her family didn't deserve being targeted at their home. Ottawa announced tonight it will expand ways for Canadians in South Africa to get home. Until January 7th, Canada will accept travelers on all air carriers tested in South Africa. Up to now, they had to be tested in a third country, and they had to travel home on a limited number of airlines. For more specifics on the rule change, you can visit cbcnews.ca. And South Africa's president is isolating after testing positive for COVID. Cyril Ramaphosa is undergoing treatment for mild symptoms. He wasn't feeling well after going to today's state memorial service for the former deputy president, F.W. de Klerk. A stern warning today from G7 leaders to the Russian president, Vladimir Putin, as Moscow amasses troops near the border of Ukraine. Rafi Bouchikanian now on the threat and the response.
At this Sunday's Vatican City Mass, the Pope's wishes for peace are specific.
Per la cara Ucraina.
To Ukraine and everyone living there, he says he wants serious international dialogue between the country and Russia. But in Ukraine, authorities have moved beyond prayers, showing media their underground bomb shelters, saying in case of military action and destruction of property, rescuers would focus on buildings where civilians would gather first. 7 years after Russia annexed Crimea, Moscow has started building up its military near the Ukrainian border. This weekend, G7 foreign affairs ministers, including Canada's Mélanie Joly, met and issued a stern warning.
Any incursion by Russia into Ukraine would have massive consequences.
We are prepared to take the kinds of steps we've refrained from taking in the past.
On Saturday, U.S. President Joe Biden was asked if he would be ready to send troops into Ukraine. He said forces would deploy to nearby NATO countries and threatened Russian President Vladimir Putin.
The economic consequences for his economy are going to be devastating. Devastating.
Meanwhile, Ukrainians are caught in the middle, says this expert.
I think what Canada and the rest of the G7 should be doing is to emphasize that even if NATO membership is not on the table for Ukraine now, we cannot allow a return to the Cold War where certain countries are put into blocks and their foreign policy is shaped by geopolitical considerations where they have no say.
Canada currently has 120 military trainers in Ukraine and says it would continue to support any NATO operations. Rafi Bujikani on CBC News, Ottawa.
For the first time since before the pandemic, a capacity crowd is watching the Grey Cup in person.
It's going to be awesome! Go Bombers, go! Go Bombers, go!
With COVID protocols in place, Tim Hortons Field in Hamilton is officially sold out. About 26,000 fans have been watching the Ticats battle the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, but one last-minute change. The CFL commissioner did the traditional coin toss, replacing Governor General Mary Simon. She bowed out after, quote, reviewing the latest numbers related to COVID infections in Ontario, telling CBC News she has chosen to remain at Rideau Hall in order to perform her duties as safely as possible. Our Jamie Strachan is live at the Grey Cup in Hamilton. And so, Jamie, big game, relatively big crowd. What's it like down there?
Well, I can tell you, Ian, the Governor General is missing a great game here at Tim Hortons Field. A little under 10 minutes left. Hamilton up 22-10. But Winnipeg on the cusp of scoring inside the Hamilton 10. This is a game that's going to come down to the wire. The wind was a huge factor in the first. Head injury, but the backup Jeremiah Masoli has stepped in and has moved the offense quite well. Of course, fans here have been waiting for this game for 2 years. The CFL was one of the few leagues that canceled its season because of COVID. So fans here in Hamilton have been waiting a long time for this big game.
After a 2-year wait, the Grey Cup is again up for grabs. On a windy yet unseasonably warm December night, the Hamilton Ticats and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are battling for the 108th edition of one of Canada's most storied trophies. It's been a big party in Steeltown all week. It's the first time Hamilton has played in a Grey Cup on home turf since 1972.
It really brings the city together as a whole. Like it's definitely one of those teams where no matter who you are, no matter what you come from, if you live in Hamilton, you love the Ticats.
The fans didn't even notice as the Grey Cup was quietly wheeled into the building this afternoon.
She is essentially Wonder Woman for the Bombers.
Blue Bomber fans hope their team can repeat in a second straight final against the Ticats.
Grey Cup champions!
That game was in 2019, and after a year off because of COVID, the only league to take a break, the anticipation has been building. This duo from Winnipeg planned their trip a year ago.
And after a year off, I couldn't not be here today.
All right, thank you. No matter who they were cheering for, all fans had to show proof of vaccination before entering the sold-out stadium for Canada's biggest football party.
And Ian, I can tell you the Ticats are up 9 with about 8 minutes to play. If they can hang on, it would be their first Grey Cup in more than 20 years. And what a party it would be here in Hamilton. Ian?
We'll check back with you next hour on News Network. Thanks, Jamie. Hundreds of migrants remain stuck at the border between Belarus and Poland with little sign of movement.
We want to make life good for my children.
Coming up, our team gets a rare look inside the detention center and the impossible situation facing migrants looking for a better life. Plus,
You needed me. You needed me.
the national interview. I speak with the legendary Anne Murray about life at the height of her career.
Have people who are really surprised that Jerry Seinfeld opened for me for a few years.
And how a bit of nail polish helped one woman find her stolen truck years later.
Our truck is on the road. That's insane.
We're back right after this. Welcome back. We've been showing you how tense things are at the border between Belarus and Poland as Polish forces turn back crowds of migrants from the Middle East. They are desperate to enter Europe and get to places like Germany, but about 1,000 of them remain stuck taking shelter in Belarus. A crisis, some say, orchestrated by the country's president to inflame tensions in the EU. Tonight, Briar Stewart shows us what a Russian camera crew uncovered for CBC News. Dismal living conditions and a grim determination to stick it out.
This is what the end of a dream looks like for hundreds of migrants. Now living and sleeping under and on top of shelves in a warehouse in Belarus. They came to build a better life in Europe and are now trying to carve out some personal space on pallets and soggy cardboard. Some have a few meager comforts, like the tents they used while sleeping in the expansive forest bordering Poland.
Go to forest and 8 days in forest, very bad, not food, not eating, no water, and very cold in forest.
Leva Assad said she and her family made it to Poland. They spent 4 days there before she says police found them 12 kilometers from the border and took them back to Belarus. Like many others, they're from Kurdistan in Iraq and hope to make it to Germany.
Life in Germany very good for children. In Iraq, not life good. We live very bad. We want to make life good for my children. Why?
And there are many of them now stuck here, spending their days trying to find ways of amusing themselves. Maybe even find ways to temporarily escape. This warehouse is located in western Belarus, just a few hundred meters away from what is now a heavily fortified border with Poland. Tensions had been rising for weeks as camps along the border grew. Then last month, this. Polish guards firing water cannons after migrants threw rocks. A few days later, Belarus moved around 2,000 migrants into the warehouse. The country's authoritarian leader then visited. Alexander Lukashenko, who's accused of orchestrating the whole border crisis to hit back at his European neighbors over sanctions.
Здесь большинство людей, которые хотят воссоединить свои семьи, найти своих родных и близких, которые находятся в Германии. Заберите, пожалуйста, этих людей к себе.
20 kilometers away in Grodno, the Belarusian city is getting ready for Christmas. There's plenty of sympathy for the migrants, not so much for the politicians on both sides of the border.
Я, например, лично против того. По-моему, Польша могла бы пропустить, и чтобы они коридором прошли.
Лукашенко не прав, так как он не должен был пускать так резко всех мигрантов на эту границу.
Thousands of those who hope to enter the EU have given up and boarded planes back to Iraq and Syria or have been deported.
No deport. No deport.
Those who remain keep waiting. The women are left taking turns doing their family's laundry in the frigid cold air outside the center. Still hopeful someone hears their pleas. The men chop wood so they can keep the fire going and the water boiling. They wash outside, and everyone lines up for food. They're served porridge by members of the military and volunteers. With cold, crowded conditions, viruses are spreading. Medical staff carry an 8-month-old baby who spent the last week in the hospital with a bad cold.
Yes, I'm very happy.
He's better now and being reunited with his mom. Inside the warehouse, there's the constant sound of coughing. Doctors say they've seen dozens show up with fevers and colds. But there's no COVID testing here. The medical staff say they aren't set up for it and insist the migrants don't want it, in case they'd have to get treatment somewhere else.
Они не хотят отсюда уезжать, даже несколько случаев было достаточно серьезно заболевших, они не хотят уезжать из лагеря.
When cameras are around, children hold signs begging to be allowed to stay in the EU.
This is my place.
Dina Cannaby, her husband and 2 small daughters have been living under the shelf for nearly 3 weeks.
I'm sleeping here. My child sleeping here.
They too are from Iraq and don't want to be forced back.
I don't want to come back to my country because of I told you every day war, every day I can't save my child, love our life.
It's not clear how long the migrants can remain here. Poland estimates there are still thousands in Belarus, including some hiding in the forest, desperate to stay because despite the dire cold conditions, where they're stranded is still so close to the European Union. Briar Stewart, CBC News, Moscow.
More than 5 decades ago, the legendary Anne Murray rocketed to the top of the charts with an iconic song.
Spread your tiny wings and fly away, and take the snow back with you where it came from on that day.
From Snowbird to touring with Seinfeld and changing the mind of music execs, the singer reflects on her storied career.
I did my job, and I did it well.
My conversation with the Canadian icon is next.
People smile and tell me I'm the lucky one, and we've just begun. I think I'm gonna have a son.
If you were listening to radio in the 70s and 80s, you likely remember how incredibly popular Anne Murray was, not just here in Canada, but her records were hits in many places around the world. This week, CBC will broadcast a documentary on her career, and she agreed to do one television interview ahead of that. I sat down with her in Halifax to talk about her path from Nova Scotia to the top of the Billboard charts, and, as you'll hear, her one regret. Let me start by saying it is a real thrill to finally meet you. I feel like I know you, and to sit down
Likewise,
with you.
I'm sure.
Well, it is terrific. And I mean, I've known your career for a long time as a maritimer, or somebody who worked in radio in the 70s and 80s, but I was still surprised at all the superlatives in your career, the tens of millions of records that you sold, the 4 Grammys, the multiple Junos, the Hollywood Walk of Fame. When you think back, particularly to the late 70s, early 80s, like the height of your superstardom, a lot of people describe you as a significant artist. How would you tell people watching now, what was the most significant thing about Anne Murray at that time?
I think the most significant thing about me at that time was having a family. That was the most important, certainly the most important thing to me, but my career was taking off, and I had another child, and it just was a slog, tough go.
That is one of the things that comes out very clearly in the documentary, is this, how conflicted you were as you tried to build your career and the pressures to deliver albums and tour.
The snowbird sings a song he always sings.
I figured that if I got all that exposure, that it could do nothing but help me. And what it really did was tear me down. The pressure was just too much for me at that point. I had worked close to 365 days straight.
It was my job. When Snowbird became a hit, that was it. I had a job, I had to do it. I loved it so much, but I missed a lot because of that.
There's some really touching moments in the documentary with you with your kids, like a classic mom moment in the pool or playing with your kids. It sounds to me like you feel like there weren't enough of those moments.
Oh no, definitely not. I missed a lot being away. I was very naive to think that I could have a full-fledged career and have a family and do justice to both. Because in order to do the job that I was expected to do, I had to be away from home a lot of the time, and that's not how to raise a family. It was my job, and I had taken it on, so I persevered.
We will come back to that topic, though, because it definitely is something that is important to you. But let's talk a little bit about the superstardom music part of your life. And there's this picture. Like, I love this picture, which I hadn't seen until recently. So there you are, a young woman from Spring Hill with John Lennon, Alice Cooper, Mickey Dolenz from the Monkees. And so I know there's a particular story about this picture,
Yeah.
but beyond that, I just think of all the people you rubbed shoulders with. You must marvel when you think back to some of the people you had contact with.
Well, yes, I actually do. I have people who are really surprised that Jerry Seinfeld opened for me for a few years.
Wow.
And I go, yeah. Yeah, Jerry was there. I mean, he opened for me in Las Vegas and Lake Tahoe and Reno and places like that. And he hung out with the band. And I knew his act down cold because every night I'd be in my dressing room getting ready and he was on stage. So I knew every line that he had, but he was everything that he was on TV. He was exactly the same. Yeah.
So next to you on that table is one of the 4 Grammys that you won. Any Grammy is an amazing achievement.
Yes.
But the Grammy that you got for You Needed Me, Best Female Pop Vocal,
Yes.
That's one of the big awards. That's one of the big ones.
Well, that was a highlight for me because up until that time, people seemed to want to categorize me as strictly country. And so when I was nominated in the category with Barbra Streisand and Olivia Newton-John and Carly Simon and who else? Donna Summer. And I was sitting at home because I was 7 months pregnant, watching and in disbelief when my name was mentioned as the winner. It was quite a thrill.
So high that I could almost see eternity. You needed me.
So You Needed Me, like any Canadian of my age, you know, is a song I know really well and worked at radio stations where we played it, maybe a little bit too much.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But here's something that I didn't know until the documentary, and I love this story, is that not only did you know in the studio that this was it, this song was going to be a hit, but also when they were going to put it on the B side of the 45, so for people who don't know what that is, that's a song that ends up getting forgotten. You went to LA, you went to the Capitol Records building, you went to the president of the label, and you said, this needs to be the first single.
I walked into the Capitol Records tower, and I went right up to Don Zimmerman's office. He was the president of Capitol at that time. I looked him in the eye and I said, I have this feeling. Will you please go with me? When I went in to talk to record people, they were all men. But after I became a mother, when I talked to them, I did it with more conviction. I was more determined than ever to have my own way. I just said, you've got to go with my instinct. And Don Zimmerman listened to me. He actually had to call to say, stop the presses. We're gonna do You Needed Me as an A side.
What's amazing to me about that story is two things. First of all, your confidence and commitment to do that. Like,
yes.
I don't know that a lot of artists would feel comfortable doing that. And that secondly, that he did do it. I mean, what does that say about...
Well, that was the most amazing
Yeah.
thing. For me, I knew it. There was no question in my mind that this song was special. And he acquiesced so quickly. So maybe he felt kind of the same way. I don't really know. I don't think I was so surprised that he agreed so quickly that I never ever discussed with him why he was so agreeable.
I named songs like Snowbird, Danny's song, or You Needed Me. Could you guess who my next guest is? Anne Murray.
You Needed Me was huge from the UK to Australia, #1 in the States. But international stardom never changed that down-home style.
You want me to take my shoes off? Devil. Are you taping this?
Anne was super beautiful and, you know, had this great vibe about her, but she wasn't overtly sexualized. She led with her integrity, her voice, her thoughtfulness, and you know, women looked at that going, you don't have to cater to what men think about music.
I love that quote. So Jan Arden says, you're super beautiful, but not overly sexualized. This is, you know, in your career. Well, what do you think of that assessment?
That's pretty accurate. I mean, I was a tomboy. I never really thought about that kind of thing. I wanted to sing, is what I wanted to do. And I think I was always true to myself in the sense that I don't think that I was ever that different on stage than I am sitting here with you. I don't think so.
The other thing I love about the fact that we're doing this interview is that we're doing it in Nova Scotia. I didn't know where you lived. I didn't know if we were going to have to find you in Vegas or Toronto.
Vegas, God forbid.
But here you are back home. And how important is that for you?
It's very important to be here. I dreamed about coming home. I mean, what Maritimer doesn't? But I made the decision, and I'm so happy to be here amongst so much family where there are 2 degrees of separation with it. Everybody knows everybody. Yeah. It's a wonderful feeling, and you know how friendly people are and how helpful and kind. So it feels really good to be here.
Nice. And let me finish with this. For somebody who's watching this, who maybe is younger or only moved to Canada recently, and they hear me talking about all these amazing things in your career, but they don't really know who you are, what should they know about Anne Murray?
All I can think of is that I did my job and I did it well.
Short and sweet.
Yeah.
Well, you did. You did do your job. You did it fantastically
I mean,
well.
it wasn't hard. It wasn't easy to do the job that I did because of all the compromises, but I'm not looking for sympathy.
Yeah.
I'm just saying the way it was for me.
Yeah.
And it was tough. But you can't go back.
Well, you made Spring Hill proud. You made Canada proud. And it's just a real privilege to finally, after all these years, get a chance to sit down and talk with you. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anne Murray doesn't do a lot of interviews. She said this may be her last on TV. Hope it wasn't anything I said. But you can see a lot more of her on that documentary, Anne Murray Full Circle, this Friday on CBC at 8 p.m., 8:30 in Newfoundland. It will also stream on CBC Gem. And the man behind a classic Canadian hit song from 50 years ago is being remembered tonight. Les Emerson died at the age of 77 from complications from COVID. His wife said he was double vaccinated, but he did have other health issues.
And the sign said, long-haired freaky people need not apply.
Emerson was with the five-man electrical band when they recorded Signs, his rock anthem to nonconformity. The song hit #1 in Canada, and it was #3 in the United States. He also produced and wrote for other popular bands. Next on The National, a Quebec man has owned a small island for decades.
That island, I said, nobody ever touched that island.
And he's making sure of that by donating it. We'll explain right after this. Greater Montreal is one of the most densely populated regions in Canada, but out in the St. Lawrence, between Montreal and Laval, sits a tiny, virtually untouched island. And thanks to one man, it will stay that way, protected from storefronts and skyscrapers by his love of nature and a dash of stubbornness. Here's Jayla Bernstein.
93-year-old Thor Vikström has cared for the island opposite his home for most of his adult life.
I have no food for them.
Now he can rest easy, knowing it'll be protected long after he's gone.
That island, I said nobody ever touched that island.
To make sure of that, he's donated the island to the Nature Conservancy of Canada. Ile Ronde sits in the middle of the Rivière des Prairies, nestled between Laval and Montreal. 7 acres of forest and marshland surrounded by 2 major cities. All preserved thanks to this family's love of nature.
I remember sitting in the kitchen here, getting up in the morning, just as a little one. Right now I look out there and I see the Canada geese, I see all kinds of beautiful birds out there. And I'd get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and I'd sit up here with you and I'd have a chocolate or milk or whatever I had at that time, and I'd look out the window and it was amazing.
In the 1960s, Vikström bought this land and built his home in Laval, Quebec. He fell in love with the view and the birds that would come and go, so he convinced the owner to sell.
I had a heart for nature and I thought nothing gonna take that away. I know it's gonna be preserved for rest of the eternity, I call it, you know.
All the shorelines around him were built up. Developers kept knocking on Vikström's door, begging him to sell, but Vikström held firm.
I just could not see this island go away to some crooks, I call it, you know.
A successful entrepreneur in the hydraulics industry, Vikström was in the business of building up. He was even consulted on the construction of the CN Tower, but he refused to let city sprawl onto his treasured island. He says he's lost track of how many times someone asked him to sell.
I don't have a count of them, but it's more than my 2 hands. They couldn't believe an island between 2 cities could be there and nothing has happened there. So they knock at this door and I said, goodbye. It's not for you, that island.
Instead of transforming the land into concrete and buildings, he made memories on it with his family.
We kind of grew up on the island. It was our getaway place, you know, a place to relax and enjoy. As kids, you want to be private, you know, so. Oh yeah, we'd go there. That's where I learned to drink, yeah.
For years, the Vikström family has enjoyed watching the changing of the seasons on the island. Now, future generations can do the same.
I know, I trust my children. I'm sure they protect the island, you know, but what happened after my children's gone, you know?
As Canada works towards its commitment to protect 30% of land and water by 2030, the Nature Conservancy of Canada is helping through gifts of land and purchases. It recently acquired grasslands in Saskatchewan and 18,000 acres of Ontario's Manitoulin Island.
When you send a message like this, you send a message of hope.
The Nature Conservancy of Canada is still evaluating whether the island will be open to the public.
I think we can pack a lot of biodiversity in a single hand. And imagine an island of that size.
Calling this island home, water birds, fish, a unique tree called the shagbark hickory, and the threatened map turtle. These turtles need natural shorelines to thrive, something in short supply around a city.
Well, turtles don't climb like concrete wall really well, so having access to a natural shoreline will give them natural nesting sites.
He says conservation efforts like this make a difference for the turtle's survival.
Quack, 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 quack.
Thor Vikström says this is a dream come true.
That's a female.
While the ducks keep him company for now, he looks forward to the return of the migratory birds next spring, as he has every winter for the last 50 years.
You just think about them now.
Jayla Bernstein, CBC News, Laval.
When we come back, how a spot of green nail polish helped a BC woman find her stolen truck.
If I ever win a lottery, I'll know how it feels.
The long-awaited reunion is our moment, and it's next. If you've ever had a vehicle stolen, you know how much of a gut punch it can be. It happened to BC's Laura Zimmerman 2 years ago, and she's been looking for it ever since. Would you recognize your vehicle 2 years after it was gone? Zimmerman did, thanks to a spot of green nail polish. Her story is our moment.
This is just insane. My cell phone rang, so I pulled over off the highway, and in the meantime, this truck flies by me, and I went, oh, green Ford, just like our old one. So I, finish my conversation, hang up, and I pull out, and I'm, creeping up behind it, and, I get into the passing lane, and I look over, and it says, Camden Motors produce sass. I painted it with green nail polish. So I'm creeping up beside it, and I look over, and I recognize my handiwork, and I went, what? You don't want to know what I said, because it was just like pretty disgusting. And I thought, I'm going to follow them. They went into the mall. I'm parked like 2 stalls away from her, and I got out, and I'm standing behind her. And I can hear 911 on my line who said, I want to report a stolen truck. If I ever win a lottery, I'll know how it feels.
Okay, so first of all, don't mess with her, because she is not going to take no as an answer as she doggedly pursued her stolen truck. That Camden sticker, by the way, the reason it was so obvious to her that it was her truck even before the nail polish, there are only 334 people that live in that town, so the likelihood of a second truck from that same dealership with the sticker, pretty slim. By the way, the people that have the truck now probably aren't the people who stole it. It seems to have been registered and insured, the police say, so who knows who took it. Anyway, she's got her truck back. That is The National for December 12th. Good night.